welcome back to another squad line battle with me, Garthnix. Thanks for joining us last week. If you were here for the live show, that was kind of fun, but we're back on a 15-minute delay now after the vote on the Discord. We're here today at Hill 400. Interesting choice of map there. I don't want to say why would anybody choose Hill 400, but no, I actually kind of like this map. I do kind of like this map, but it's not for the faint-hearted. I think it can be tricky. It's fair to say. So this week, as you can see from the overlay, let me get it up. It's G-Bay versus Proximo. We're following the Axis, Hill 400. I realise I've got the date wrong on my time card, but that's fine. It is the 18th of January. I knew I would get something wrong with this. I just had a feeling with it. Hopefully the stream settings are all okay though, and if not, you'll just have to let me know. It is a 15-minute delay, as I mentioned before, so that is what it is. We've been here before with some technical problems, but just bear with me. Let me know if you see anything. Looks like the stream quality is okay, unlike last week at the beginning, which is great. We're going to jump in a moment to talk with KnownConnection, KnownConnection, getting his name wrong, who's in the Discord at the moment. He's going to be streaming the other team, the allies here, and hopefully, if it all works according to plan, we're going to jump into Discord with him in a moment, have a bit of a chat, and then watch the game, and have a bit of a talk as well at the end with G-Bay and Proximo. Big shout out to everybody who's followed since last time. Centurio Kato, Heps, Will, Whisper, Remba, KnownConnection. Yeah, so big thanks to everyone who's followed last time. If you want to see both sides today, then obviously do check out KnownConnection's stream. You can have them both up at the same time, but you know, no foul play. However, it is 15 minutes delay, so it's less likely. Okay, so we'll jump into him to speak with him in a moment, but just before we do, I want to say, as always, a massive thanks to Werner Voss, Dragster, and everybody who's involved in setting up Squad Line Battle. Just to explain what it is for everybody who's new here, it's basically like a public game of Hell Let Loose, like 49 versus 49, with a streamer on each team to make up the 50. And it's kind of like a public game in the sense that it's not just one clan. It's not like there's a big plan ahead of time. It's just people who sign up with a whole squad instead of just like joining a public server by yourself. You bring your whole squad, whether that's, you know, a recon squad, an infantry squad, a tank squad. You can even play commander. All you do is come along, sign up. It's every Tuesday, and the idea is it's like a public game, but people kind of know a bit more what they're doing, and they're on the mic and they follow, you know, instructions and play as a team. They know how the game works, etc. So it's just a bit higher level of player, higher level of game than your average public, but it's obviously not competitive. On this week's game, you know, we've got people from literally all over the place. We've got, let's have a look. We've got people from SCDB, big thanks to them for providing Server 2 today. We've got people from WD44. We've obviously spoken to a lot of their guys before. Great bunch. Some cult players, PHX, DC. On the other team, there's again lots of core players. Hell Let Loose Italy. What the Hell? Got Don D, DC, Hilly, loads. So should be a good game, but just if you want to play next week, all you do is just come along, you know, sign up when Werner opens up the sign up tomorrow, and yeah, come along, sign up with your friends, come play Squad Line Battle. Let's go and see if KnownConnection's ready. Hopefully, yes, he is. KnownConnection.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, mate, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent.
I've had a poor start. I've just realised that I was talking and I forgot to press stream.
Classic.
We're about 8 minutes behind.
Classic.
As we just talking. But yeah, how are you? You ready for tonight?
Well, I think so. Obviously, I haven't caught up with my own delay yet, so I'm not sure. I think I'm speaking. Um, I think it should be working all right. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
tonight's
hopefully.
game. Hopefully, it's going to be a good one. Hill 400 is a bit unusual as a map for squad line battle. It doesn't come up that often.
Yeah, I can't see it. I haven't seen it for a while actually, and it's nice to have games like this.
Well, it's a bit different to a lot of the ones that we normally have, where it's like lots of tank battles. I think there's going to be some use of tanks. We might talk about that in a moment, but it's not going to be those big open tank battles that we've seen on a lot of other previous games. Foy, obviously Samurai Glees. There's lots of open tank fields, all these different maps. Even Purple Heart Lane, lots of big long range tank battles. But this one, I think, well, Proximo said to us like before starting that he does want to use tanks, but it's not going to be long range. I don't think.
No, and if you do use tanks, it will have to have a lot of infantry in and around it because it's just very vulnerable.
Yeah, so many trees, so many like differences in height in the terrain. It's easy to get kind of above and behind stuff or flank it down under the line of sight. Especially in a tank where you've got that kind of fixed, axis where you can't lower the gun any further than it will go, kind of thing. So if players are able to just run around the side, if it's like lower ground, it's so easy to flank on this
Oh yeah,
game for the
100%.
18 players, and satchels as well, because they can get so close in the trees. So it will be interesting to see if the planned infantry support for the armor does work out.
It'd be good
We'll
to have some good tank play in the points, and to have people pushing behind and be able to cap because of the tank.
Yeah, I mean, it can be super powerful. It's like on this map, especially if you kind of just roll it up to where it needs to be, and then like you mentioned, kind of support it correctly. Because think of something like, is it derailed train?
Yeah,
That's a right down in the hard points, right down in that valley thing, and then you've got all around it hills. Well, if you're the Axis, you've kind of got a bit of a disadvantage there because the allies can spawn up on the hills, kind of I suppose to the left as the Axis look at it, and they've got free reign to come in from that angle. But if you set a tank up there, especially something like a Lux that's really really good at devastating against infantry, it can just cover that whole angle and just keep lighting the hill up, and they just can't push through, and that can allow your guys, like you say, to hold the point down in the bottom.
yeah, 100%. So, what sort of points are you hoping for today? What would be the middle points? Because obviously we've got flat pits, we've got Hill 400, and then Southern Approach.
Yeah, for me, I think Hill 400 is like my main hope, I suppose, just
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
like a really difficult point, and I think it's always fun to see how people try and handle it, and it's like very to and fro often. But the other two aren't too bad. I think probably on that left hand side as the Axis look at it, it's not. Remind me again which one that is. Not southern. The other. It's like to the north, right?
So we got Ixtwig Junction, then
Yeah,
Eastern
Ellsworth
Slope, and
Junction.
then
Yeah,
Trainwreck.
yeah. So like the train wreck side, that's a nightmare for the Axis unless they can really do a good job of holding train wreck. But it's such a horrible point, especially if the central point is like further away, kind of thing. Then it's really hard to hold on both fronts, and I think that will make or break the kind of the result of the game, maybe. Because if there's a big difference, but side to side, as it were, like sectors apart from each, whether it's the middle strong point or the second row kind of thing, like if they're far apart on either side of the map, then whoever takes the middle one is gonna probably get more momentum, if you see what I mean. It's like really easy to kind of snowball once you take that middle point if the enemy have to like fall back a long way, because it is a long way in Hill 400, and it's so easy to get caught out of position and just get held down. And if people aren't disciplined with redeploying, they can just get stuck in the trees. And by that time, people on the attacking team have redeployed and they are inside the strong point, and the steam rolls on, kind of thing. So
it's going to be tough.
It will be tough. I think tougher for the Axis on this map. But
I think the defensive squads need to have their ears open, because and as soon as they hear
Guys, just call in artillery
louder
if you do need it.
airplane coming, you know that's going to be an airhead, and you need to start looking to see where that's going to come from. Because if you let an airhead land, you're kind of going to lose the point.
I agree, and it's so hard to like see them coming down in the trees that people
Yeah.
are going to have to be so vigilant.
It's like you just need one kind of squad or two players just scouting rough, known locations
Yeah,
for the airheads to land and have them like kind of waiting there.
yeah, absolutely,
In
and
a sense.
especially if the commanders are like proficient on this map kind of thing, they're used to it. Then what you might see is supplies being dropped right at the start, in far away areas, like in as it were in the far point for each team, because they're going to want to set up those kind of potential garrisons early on and take advantage of the fact that people aren't going to be looking up at the sky straight away thinking supplies will be dropping right at the HQ spawns kind of thing. But using those kind of advanced tactics could really pay off on this map because of what I said about it's kind of easy to get a steamroll going.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
but as much as it's so easy to get a steamroll, I'd like to think from the commanders that we have in tonight's game, I'd like to them think that they wouldn't have the opportunity for the other team to steamroll. I think they are going to get their garrisons up, and it's good. It's going to be defensive from both sides because of how easy it is to push on to the next point.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I mean, Proximo's obviously kind of mentioned about using tanks in defense already, so I know he's going to be playing more defensive, and obviously like Jubei and Proximo are both very, very experienced players as well. That's something to mention. I don't know like exactly how much commander experience each has like specifically, but like the amount that they've played this game and the amount that they know about the game and the kind of the level of players that they are, I don't, like you say, I don't think they're going to be easy to defeat for one another kind of thing, but just it could come down to those little sneaky tactics of like dropping supplies in a place early on, or pushing up with a half track like right on the edge of the map or something, to just try and kind of find those cracks in the armor kind of thing, and then when it comes to exploiting it, I think both players are going to know like they have to really, really push hard when it comes to the attack. Like once you get that claw hold in one of these objectives on this map, like you really need to force it kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Especially on Hill 400, which is again just going to be a nightmare of artillery and bombing and whatever if they do get it.
It's going to be good.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of close kills as well because of the trees.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you thinking for prediction-wise? Who do you think will win, and what will the score be?
I mean, I think that Jubei is a good commander and he's got a good team, but it's more likely on this map, I would say, that the allies would win. I don't have any like stats to back that up, but I just, in my personal experience, I think that they, depending certainly on the points, that like the middle point and stuff, like I think it's probably easier in general for the allies. But if it does get pushed off Hill 400 and the allies are getting held down in that village, like that can be hard for them too. So we'll see. I'd say probably the allies will win, but we'll see. How about you?
Okay. I'm undecisive. I don't know who will win, but I think it will be a 5-0, purely because it's so easy to get behind an enemy and fight at different angles, whereas any other map you kind of see them coming, whereas because of the amount of trees, I think it's so easy to attack on a point. I think it will be
it's
a 5-0,
like
but I don't know
thing,
who will win it.
Interesting. Well, yes, I think you might be right, to be honest. It'll either be like complete draw, stalemate the whole time, just like really hard fought in the middle, or it'll be like a 5-0. I think you're probably right there.
Right, well, let's see
how
it goes on.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Well, I'll catch you after then.
Yeah, perfect. I'll have a good game.
All right, you too, mate. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Great. What the hell? No connection there.
You're still on chat.
Oh.
It's your time now.
Yeah, nice. That's me not setting up my push to talk. I thought I had it set up, but evidently not. Let's have a little look in the game. You heard some of the command chat there. Let me just try and turn down some of the stuff in the game for us before we get started. Let's go. So audio, we'll catch up with the squad leaders and the command chat as we go along, but for the most part we'll have it off there. Looking at before the restart, we've got Frederick Junction, however you say that, Frederick Junction, Royal River House, Hill 400, Eastern Slope, Paper Mill. Like I said to KnownConnection, I think if it comes down to the Paper Mill side, the train wreck side, the kind of south of the map, I suppose, then that's probably where the Axis are going to really struggle, especially if the middle point is like Hill 400 or up to the north. They are going to definitely struggle. Frederica Junction is probably one of the harder points for the Allies, the village in the kind of B column, but we'll see. So if I just take off the overlay here, we can have a quick look at the map as it is before the reset. And be gone, streamer person. That's nice. Sorry, buddy, not happening. So Ruhr River House is definitely, like, this side here is definitely manageable for the Allies. This is certainly possible to win an attack as the Axis pushing this way, but it's not easy, and it's definitely defensible because there's all these hills up around here. You can kind of see from the topography here, you kind of got these hills like around this area that you can put a garrison up here. It's nice and hidden in the trees. You know, you can get another garrison like fairly close up here, hidden in the trees, have people pushing in down this side. It's quite defensible, and this is not at all easy here for the Axis to hold, particularly if particularly if they have to then get pushed back like across the map, as I said before, either like north or south. That's going to really be a problem. PBS, please join Axis to move to Allies. I think I'm on the right team. We're going to be Axis. I haven't got a commander yet, but I think we should be right. So yeah, hopefully they're going to start here soon. Let me double check that this is actually all working on the stream okay. Yeah, I sound like me. Still could see the date is wrong there on the overlay, but that's all good. Let me just drop the tweet for everybody. There we go, I've twitted and shut down my browser so we get a nice smooth experience today. I'm not going to spawn in just now as admin cam. I'm going to wait for the game to restart because there seems to be a bug at the moment where if the game restarts and I'm spawned in as admin cam, then I have to like restart the game. I can't move the mouse around in the game, which is kind of weird. As I mentioned before, I think that the artillery is going to be really critical in this game because these points all through here, especially Hill 400, because of how it is laid out, some of the approaches are very predictable. Up through here is very predictable. Up through this side here is very predictable. There's like little bunkers out here on this side, and you can kind of push up through the rocks here. And then on this side again, there's only a few holes in the barbed wire, as you can kind of see here, and these are fairly accurate on the map. These holes in the barbed wire, and it means that anybody flanking around has to come through these holes. And so if you just drop artillery on them, or drop artillery or bombs in the middle, you know, you can be pretty devastating. It's not possible to get inside the bunker either, so you know, there's not a lot of cover up there for anybody who's in there. You can get in some of these kind of side bunkers for sure, and in the trenches like underneath Hill 400, but there's not enough room for a whole team there, and it's going to allow people to be pushing in from all different directions, you know, and that could be both teams, because as No Connection said, this is a flankable position. All of this is just trees all around it. So if anybody can get garrisons up here, you know, down the bottom, then who knows? But that's going to be the game probably, is trying to get round the back, place those garrisons. How is this possible? Answers on the back of a postcard, please. Losing the point there with nobody in it from either team. Never seen that before. Right, well, we should be getting started here hopefully in a moment. Getting messages. Hopefully that's not about the stream. I will just check the Discord, but I believe we're nearly ready. Looks like everybody's been assigned to their teams. They've had their pre-game briefings. As I mentioned before, I think Proximo's tactic is going to kind of involve some infantry support for the tanks. Just trying to sort out, it looks like, just trying to sort out some people who are in the wrong team. And then we'll be starting. Looks like I'm on the right one, thankfully. I see Jubei there, who will obviously be following. So Axis in blue today, the Allies in red. Let me just check. Yeah, we've got Axis in blue up the top here and Allies in red. Lovely jubbly. So we'll try and catch some of the action from both sides, but of course, if you want to see exactly you know, what's happening for the Allies in the game, make sure you have KnownConnection stream up as well. That way you're not going to kind of miss anything. We'll probably be ended up covering different stuff, so even if you kind of stick with me for the whole time or something, make sure you go check his VOD out afterwards. As you heard, great guy, nice streamer, go check him out. He's on often weeks, like week evenings, and at weekends, just literally doing, you know, public games, although, you know, recently he's been streaming What the Hell Sweaty on a Thursday. I think he did a 116 game, What the Hell game, as well the other day, so go check him out, show him some love. Hopefully we're just about to get started, it looks like, from the squad chat. I love this, by the way. Whoever came up with this from SCDB, very, very nice. Fixture service core. Well, I think that's a harsh burn, but it was actually .d server that went down. Ooh. Can't believe I got the date wrong on the overlay. Terrible. What a fool. 11th. I'll update it for the YouTube video. Come check me out, of course, on YouTube. Any of these games from 2022, you're going to be able to catch on YouTube if you miss it on the VOD, although you've got 2 weeks to come back and watch it again on Twitch as well. If you miss something, you want to clip stuff, please do. Let's go. Here we are, Hill 400. Let's see the points. Alright, so one of the first in, because, you know, big PC. Right, Hill 400, sick, like that. Eastern Slope, that's a good combo. It's kind of a hard one for the Axis to defend in a way, because you can get kind of this steamroll effect over here, but it's also not impossible, because it is kind of very defensible, as the enemy have to push down into this area, which means you can cover it from like some concealed positions, but you need to be disciplined and hold the line there, give good call outs, because they can obviously like flank all the way around behind, come up through the back here. Bergstein Church, not a great one for the Allies. Certainly could be better, and Frederica Junction could be better for the Allies, so I might change my prediction somewhat here. This could sway it towards the Axis, but we'll jump into the game and get up in the air and have a little look what the plan is, see if they put any markers up or anything like that. So just before we spawn in, you can see Jubei Commander, then we've got Scars, who's just taking his time. We've got HCD squad, it's Abel, Baker, we've got Maynard, squad leader. I'm not sure some of these clan mates, but maybe just friends as well. SCDB. We've got little old me, Mr. we've got FLX, so Phalanx, Papa, nice to see you playing again. Electro, been on the stream, of course. Scars, old friend of the LKG. Got What the Hell players, we've got 82 AD. On the Recon, we've got 2 FJG. We've got a Tank Squad, which is interesting. As we kind of said at the start, there's going to be tanks. By the way, scrolling this thing, when I get to the bottom, I'm like changing weapon. Why? Why is that, Black Matter? Black Matter signed over the game completely now to Team 17 for kind of like unified support, which is hopefully a good thing for the smooth running of the game. Look forward to that. Okay, so yeah, what a great view, by the way. What a great view. I might take this as a picture. I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? Okay. So hovering over Hill 400 and Eastern Slope here, you can see the move marker down here in the south. I think it's kind of pretty obvious for the Axis where to go at this point. They need to get like around this whole area, set up a garrison around but not directly on Eastern Approach. Probably something else around in these areas, exactly, supplies coming down there, and then get that push going on Hill 400, because it's almost certain that the Allies will be there first. You can see they've got a horrible way to get there. They've got to go all the way, the Axis, all the way onto this road here, round the bridge, up the hill, etc, etc. Like, if we go and have a quick look over here, you can see that where the vehicles actually spawn is just really not a helpful location. You know, this is the best case scenario. You have to come all the way up here, and as you can see, the tanks still haven't really got out of the home base yet. On the other hand, the Allies have a much smoother approach. Wow, they've really used the whole height of the map here. I'm literally pushing against the skybox. But for the Allies, they've just got this straight road in, which is so much stronger of an approach to Hill 400. It means that they're probably going to take it first. We can see here that that's their supply truck dropping supplies here. So if I kind of hover the camera here, we can see that that's literally on the road at Bergstein Church. So they're probably going to try and get something up around here, either in the trees or out the back of Bergstein. I'm surprised a little bit that they didn't put it kind of more in this area, as this is a bit open here, but we'll see. They're moving here, the Allies, into the point, as predicted. This is amazing that they've used the whole height of the the map tool. I mean, that's great. I didn't realise that it was quite so high. You can feel it when you're playing it, obviously, but this is something else. Just double check I haven't got any overlay or anything up. No, that's perfect. Okay, so before we get going, we can see again, just as we kind of mentioned, getting people out wide. They've got a lot of people way out wide here, probably going for a bit of a flank. We might go and catch up with these, because it looks like they've actually met these two trucks. Although, of course, one is a supply truck and is now very much destroyed. Made of pixels, getting absolutely thrown out of the equation there. Now, I haven't really gone as far as you might expect here, but there is Maynard and potentially some other squad leaders in this vehicle who are able to build some spawns out here. But you can see that this is where, exactly the same idea, this is where the Allies have sent their troop transport as well. So Bullseye could get some driver kills here. Yeah, Maynard is down, so that's one squad without a squad leader. Try and get a view here on this action. So just for reference, we're out here in F3. Hutch is down. Underlux, I think, might be next. Yep, he's gone down as well. Not good there for the Axis. Ran into a lot of heavy resistance, and as predicted, the Allies have taken the point. The Axis have got kind of a decent front line, though. As we mentioned before, it's important that they do spread out all the way around, and you can see from the recon plane straight up the middle here just how many Allies are inside the point. This is where we're going to see this artillery coming in and being really helpful. There are players on one artillery gun here for the Axis. I'm going to go over and check the artillery for the allies in a minute, but just looking at this this spread here over the top of Hill 400, the allies very commanding positions. These gaps in the barbed wire that I mentioned in the build-up, they're beyond them. Yeah, so that the key thing there is that it doesn't matter if the Axis start bombarding the centre of the point and all of these kind of predictable movement positions with artillery or bombing runs. If the Allies have already pushed out past them and they're holding the Axis infantry off at a decent distance. 82 Biggles and Yucky here, Hutch and Mark May kind of moving up in an ominous direction, but there are still Allies in the centre of the point. Now, Eastern Slope, as mentioned before, is somewhat easy to hold, I suppose, for the Axis, just so long as they don't allow allies in and around behind them, because they can just pick them off as they kind of come down the hill towards it. You've got this road creating kind of a natural break where the allies will have to cross. You see from left to right we've got this road here circling the hill, and allies have to cross that road in order to get to the strong point. It's probably, I'd imagine, allied artillery that we're seeing come down here in Eastern Slope, but a little bit like with Hill 400 for the allies, if the Axis are able to hold these back areas from any kind of, you know, deep flanking, airhead or anything like that, which we won't see just yet at 1 hour 21 remaining, but very soon. If they can hold these kind of areas from any sort of cheeky spawn shenanigans, then it's relatively easy to keep the allies on their side of the road coming down the hill here. Okay, so scooting over now to have a quick look at the artillery here. Looks like there's a full artillery battery going on. We've got PBS squads manning at least 2 guns, possibly even more. And I'm guessing that it's their artillery coming down on Eastern Slope. There's no artillery markers there for the Axis, of course. Okay, so back over here at Hill 400, we can kind of see, it's hard to get a good top-down angle, but we can see from looking at the map that all through this F and E column now, the Axis are kind of creating that pincer, creating that encircling move, and they will be looking to kind of just push in, and then at some point we can see the artillery marker is down inside Hill 400, and that's the artillery falling there. At some point they'll probably put some smokes out, maybe send the bombing run right over the top, try and take out this tank which is up here defending, or both tanks. Try and really you know, eliminate them from the fight. If they're not able to do that with you know, bombing or with a lot of smoke, they are going to struggle, the Axis here, against tanks inside the centre of Hill 400. It's not at all easy for them to get tanks in themselves to defend against this, and good play with the coaxial machine gun and with the high explosive shells is going to really hamper their advance through this whole side. Of course they are still kind of free to get up around this side, but again it's a bit of strategy here. This and all the way around here are really the only holes in the barbed wire on this side, and so just with a few players here in the right spots, they probably will be able to hold off an Axis advance, or at least make it very difficult for them to come up from that side. This is the better side for the Axis to advance from, and up through this area here where Geister's getting the kill there on Adamov. This is where the Axis are going to want to push up, and if they can cover it with this kind of level of firepower, then it's going to be hard to deal with. Interesting supplies here. Not quite sure what the Axis are going for with that. A little bit obvious. Perhaps they're just trying to draw some players away from their positions, which they have actually done. I might use that myself in future as a tactic. Give a little bit of bait to draw some of these players off their positions and thin out the front line. Still a whole squad out here though. We've got machine gunners, we've got the medic there, vitally important medic on these kind of points. Not played enough in my opinion. It's so powerful to be able to keep your guys in the fight, you know. And if the medic plays like a medic and isn't just charging in with their gun with hardly any ammo all the time, getting themselves killed over and over, and they are just trying to get those smokes down, you know, get the revives, keep their team alive in a strategic way, keep that squad leader alive, keep their AT alive, keep the machine gun alive. HCD here with 6 kills. They can be game changer, absolute game changer. Okay, so this is now the ally bombing run. Pressing T to get up the points. We can see, oops, so underneath us eastern slope. The bombing run kind of just strafing out the hill, maybe trying to clear off any of the Axis who are covering this road, but it's only Bullseye from the Allies who's actually pushing down here, so it's a kind of interesting bombing run. Still artillery coming in here. Cahoots, who was, of course, commander last game, GG's to him, holding down defence here inside Hill 400. Inside Eastern Approach, sorry. So over at Hill 400, the Axis have done a really nice encirclement here, and they're getting into a very, very vulnerable place for the Allies, pushing up right in the rear. Mork struggling a little, it's fair to say, against this tank here, but did we just missed this eradication here. The Axis, as discussed, really struggling to get a tank into the middle. I just don't think it's going to really be possible, and with the height of the hill that we've seen, you know, there's no way, there's nowhere else that you can kind of shoot them from. This is a towering mountain. I think that was an interesting play there to even try to get a tank pushed up in that way, but it has kind of drawn the 75 a little bit out of position as far as the Allies are concerned, and quite close to some of these players who might stand a chance of satcheling it. Olu over here, the squad lead. We've got Andy with potential for a satchel. I think Beer Class is on the other side. We just saw him a moment ago. Definitely inside the hard point here. Got Maynard, who we saw earlier driving the transport truck. Whew. That's some nasty artillery. I don't know if that's the Allies doing that. Thought there was a bit of a soft cap going on at Eastern, but not at the moment. This tank has done a good job of defending itself. But Axis grenades going off inside the point, it looks like. Not sure whose that was. Hercules, maybe? Or Beercules, sorry. See, this smoke, as I mentioned before, is going to make it a lot harder for these tanks to be able to be as effective in their attack. And combined with good artillery, that's a satchel going off there, combined with good artillery to clear out the enemies from the point, the infantry here, it could be pretty effective. Haven't seen the bombing run yet, hopefully haven't missed it, but haven't seen this bombing run from the Axis with 1 hour 15 remaining. Well, hopefully, in a moment. Alright, let's go and quickly have a look over at Eastern, because they've sort of done what I said they shouldn't and let somebody get in behind it here. It is only recon, and he is down, but they could have an OP out here somewhere, and that could be the beginning of a little exploration into finding sort of defensive cracks. Although with the Phalanx squad over here and 82 AD squad, I think it's not easy. You know, they've got a lot of people spawned in back here. Proximo may have dropped an airhead back here. Oh yes, here's a garrison. Okay, so right underneath the camera here, as you can see in H6, this is where the garrison is, and it's heating up this OP here. Good positioning of the OPs. from O and E squad, and then good kind of defensive structure here. You know, nothing in the center of the point because you don't want to get it destroyed, of course, by artillery, but enough around to give good proximity warnings, and a garrison on either side. I say nothing in the point, there's a garrison there, but a garry on either side to prevent any kind of you know, if this one goes down, then they can spawn at this, and vice versa, with a backup here as well, which I quite like, because this, as we can see, is always going to be the preferred side for the allies to attack. Hill 400's got a lot of blue in the middle of it, but there are quite a lot of these allied players moving on eastern approach. Still a lot of defenders here too, to be honest, and the tank's still up, although it is damaged. Artillery coming in. Yak over here. Taking fire, gets killed unfortunately. That was big plays there. Kind of only Axis guy inside the hard point, or almost. Interesting that players here, like Yucky isn't, but Beer Claws is, Hercules is, Beercules, like Hercules, right? Is in the centre, but you literally can't be in the hard point if you're the other side of the barbed wire, except in this one tiny spot here, but it's one of these known gaps that I talked about before, and it's easy to defend. That flanking manoeuvre has really not paid off out here, but as you can see, the Axis have actually lost a garrison down here in G6. That could be these guys over here who've taken it down. CC, Smooker, probably these guys. Scars, Satiri out here hunting their phalanx teammate, Commander Proximo, trying to find that garrison. They've got it marked, which is a good spot from them. Big player here in Joker. See what he's got for us. Coming for the defense. Okay, so he's going to see that this garrison is hot. He's got nades out on the Gary. He goes down to Scars. Nice kill there. Sotiri's on the garrison. Smokes are down. Garrison's down. Electro gets taken out by somebody or other. Not sure. Could have been serious. I actually have no idea how he just died. Tiger, interesting. Yikes. Okay, Kale there with the supply truck kill. Obviously trying to get back out in this direction to place that Gary again. G4 Gary is now hot. And there's one in G6 suspected, you know, or OP suspected. Let's see where that marker actually is. Over here. I think they might even have their OP a little bit closer than that. There's a truck here. That's Axis. Not quite sure, and that, you know, it indicates, if I am struggling to see it, it's obviously really hard for anyone playing to see any of the spawn points on this map. You know, especially since they made these changes to the OP size. They are very difficult to spot. They do obviously have a sound that they give off when you get close enough, but not at all easy from a distance. So HTD squad kind of trying to get involved, but the 75 is not letting them. I don't know if they're stuck here. I don't think so. No, they're just literally camped up, watching again those kind of predictable areas. So good play there. Exactly kind of what Proximo said he was going to do, which is this good infantry support around the tank. We've got Vaha over here, Yucky. Very unfortunate for the Axis that neither of these players have satchels, to be honest. Has Kreiser seen? Yeah, Yucky gonna go taken out pretty spectacularly there. They need to get this OP down, or the garrison down. I think Yucky just got an OP there. There isn't a garrison actually inside. He might have just bought enough time for a good push here to to get his team in. Geist holding it down though on top of the bunker. Tempest staying low. He's the one who's got to stick around to build. Oh my god, he's just literally run past him. What's happening here? Oh my god. That is not the move. That is not the move. Where's that satchel? That is not the move. Doing what you can though. They need to prioritise here the Axis. They need to ensure that they're supporting anti-tank players to get in here. Because if they can get these tanks out of the way, that's such a huge change, you know, like so many of these players who are going to be circling around here. We can see this is hot again. You know, these attacking players for the Allies are going to really struggle. Hey, and there it is. Taking it down. I didn't see who it was. Andy probably. Possibly Wolfie with a satchel. But it's huge. You know, it's bought them how much space here? A lot. This tank's down too. So now on the garrison, going to take that out. And I think we could be seeing the change over here. Yep, garrison's down. As long as they can kind of shore up these positions. Good use of smokes here, by the way. Shore up these positions, and now the shoe's on the other foot when it comes to these predictable places that we spoke about before. These gaps in the barbed wire, they worked both ways, you know. So as we can see here, they're going to have to either come through this gap, because they can't come through there. They're going to have to come all the way round, and there's another gap just up here over the hill. But some of these players, they're not even going to necessarily know that, so they're just going to come butting up against this barbed wire and get funneled into the spots here. You know, Turbo, is that Love Kiss? Struggling to read it, where he's moving like that. Turbo with the easy kill there, right hand peak easy kill on FSG, because he's getting funneled through this predictable angle by the barbed wire, which just allows such an attacking advantage, or defending advantage, sorry, to whoever's inside the point. Okay, here comes the bombing run. This is the Axis one. Interesting location. Not sure if they did have anything there in terms of spawn points. But looking ahead, I can't see any kind of supplies or anything dropped yet. I'm surprised that BFA hasn't called in for supplies in this area, because that could be really, really powerful right now. If so many of these players over here just like instantly redeployed, if they'd have the supplies ready to go, they could have a garrison and be eating away at that 40-second initial spawn time as we speak. And you know, look how many have had to spawn all the way back here to the rear of Bergstein Church. Let's have a little look. Okay, so here's the garrison. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that in C6, keypad 5 or keypad 2 there. We kind of... I don't want to ping it, because obviously that will give it away for our team, which wouldn't be fair, but hopefully one day streamers will have markers that we can put down, but maybe that's a bit far down the pipeline. 75 falling back here, not quite sure where they're off to. Maybe just trying to get round and get an angle on this road. I'm not sure. I can't see where any Axis tanks actually are. They might have given up on the tank game for the time being. Eastern Slope does have the Tiger. Whether they'll try the same thing and try and get it right up in Hill 400, I'm not sure. Hill 400 still under Axis control. I don't think it's hugely under attack right now, but that was a pretty devastating artillery shell just there. So the Allies, with it all to do then, pushing up through the woods here, they need to kind of... well, this is only my opinion, of course, but it's easy when you get pushed back as the Allies to Bergstein to kind of freeze up a little bit, and you end up funneling yourself up the road, funneling yourself through these woods here, just sticking to this kind of this line through Bergstein. You know, if you can draw a line from Bergstein to Hill 400 and kind of about as wide as this recon plane, it's very easy to get kind of stuck in this lane, as it were. What they really need to be doing is what they are doing, to be fair to them, and getting right out wide again. You know, you kind of have to start from square one, get that defence down, and go really wide again, which they are doing. And we can see here they've got Core, Don D players out on the side. Aaron, who I think we've seen have a few good kills, out here on the flank again, up north. trying to make something happen. You know, we're looking at this area here now in ENF4, kind of all around in this area. So they're going to try and get really far around. But look at these garrisons. What great positions. You see the triangles here that these garrisons make. They're trying to create this kind of ring around so that if any get taken, they've always got other options to spawn at. And also you get this kind of proximity warning effect where you kind of know where attacks are coming from. As this garrison heats up in G4, the Axis able, of course, to see that there are enemies in G4. They've even got this one out here, so they can actually, like a backup to the backup, so they can actually push through and take this area if they need to, and kind of crush the flank as it's happening. I don't think it's any secret at this point that this is happening, so I'm just going to ping it so I can see quickly because I want to catch this action. Master Chief is on the Gary. He's had to give up taking it to defend himself, but Lee Seal gets the kill, saves the garrison. Not sure where Master Chief's spawn is, probably over this side. He is a squad lead there. CC inside the point now. Not a good place for him to be. Not the most powerful player to be inside the point. But Smooker, as a squad leader, certainly could cause problems. If he can get his spawn point up, get his squad spawned in, he's probably asking for troubles, sitting in this Achilles there with a really nice kill. Kind of pre-fired the corner there. Good to see. This is a first-person shooter after all, as much as I might spend time looking at the map here. There is clearly a lot of action going on all over the place. Make sure to go out and check KnownConnection's stream as well. You know, I think he probably is going to focus a little bit more on some of the kind of gunplay side of it than the strats. So if that's what you're into, make sure to have that one open as well. Joker here, he can hear Yak. That's how you say the name, which I really hope it is, because Yak is a great name, but doesn't quite know where he is, and it allows him to filter through. Yak goes down though to, I guess, Kreuzritter up in the building here. Joker in a very interesting place with the machine gun, just fully set up against our walls, not bothered, just wants to hold that angle. We'll see how it works out. I'm seeing a lot of defense going on here from the Axis. A little bit difficult to see, but there's this garrison over here that we're looking at in E5 that's kind of getting constantly attacked. And as we mentioned before, because they're using it as a proximity warning, they're able to send people over here to defend it. And actually, it's in rather a nice place for the Axis. This is a good kind of note on a garrison, I feel like, because it's nice and close to this road here. So if that was an OP right now, then speed would have destroyed it, because you only have to be 10 meters away to destroy the OP. But you have to obviously hold down air on the garrison in order to destroy it. So being that close to the road here, okay, it's stopping you from being able to spawn in because it's that close, but it is hidden, and it's a very effective proximity warning for this kind of slope and this road coming up here. Plus the slope and the road are somewhat easier to defend. I mean, we're obviously seeing Crazy Rail probably get the Gary here, and actually it was artillery that got it, or the tank. But it's definitely a lot easier to defend those kind of specific places on this map, rather than you know, trying to put it somewhere kind of more out in the open or something, or out the way. Sometimes putting it close to one of those funnel points makes it relatively easier to defend. However, as we saw, artillery doesn't care about funnel points, and it's just going to be putting holes in everything. They don't care about trees. A really interesting and very wide spread on the map though for the Axis, and I think that's just really a reflection of how far around they're being kind of flanked here. We've got Kale over in the trees over to the east here. We're just here looking at this garrison basically. You can see Lee Seal is actually on the garrison. Kale with shots on him. Might have seen the garrison as well. That could be a problem because he's possibly got a bazooka. so may be able to take out the garrison. Terminator doesn't know he's here, I can tell you that for nothing, and is probably going to get shot. Good trigger discipline from Cal there to wait for the easy kill, but he hasn't twigged that there is a spawn point over here. Unfortunately for the Allies, because that would be a nice one for him to get, but you can see that they've lost this one over here where all the markers are, the Axis, have lost the garrison over in E5, but they still do have some of, and another one over here somewhere I think, but they still do have like a decent amount of them around. They've lost this other one here, and there was one in Eastern Slope at one point, but that's also gone. We can see from the proximity they're getting flanked on the side, which could start to be a problem for the tank here. But there are certainly some allies pushing in here. I'll be right back. Okay. Decent flank going on here at Bergstein. Just going to check it out. So 57 minutes remaining. You know, they are trying for the 5-0, just like KnownConnection said. Press T, get Bergstein up. So that's obviously the church down here. You can see it's the strong point. We've got DP over here. If we can see him from up here in the sky. There you go, yeah, on the other side of the road there. Who else squad lead? We've got Rebro, Oli. So a decent number of squad leaders here, and they're getting their OPs down in dangerous places here for the Allies. They definitely don't want to be kind of flanked around and lose their garrison on this point, because it's so hard. You know, this is the issue, it's very open around it, so even if you have good garries like around it, especially on this side, to spawn in and run across these open fields is very, very hard. Ah, here's the garrison. Okay. And there was this other one back here as well, but that is gone now. That's definitely very gone. Okay, so yeah, this is the garrison that we're kind of keeping an eye on. The significant garry here for the Allies. If the Axis can be a bit patient, you know, wait for their artillery to drop some smokes here, clear some of them out, maybe wait for the bombing run, which will probably be ready again fairly soon, then they could have a good position here to actually try and take Bergstein. And then Frederica Junction, that's a hard one for the Allies, very, very difficult. Not easy to attack either, but with these woods here and this kind of wall, it is possible for the Axis to get quite close, and through this side here as well. But you can see the Allies pretty much have open fields all around it that they have to cross to get there. So it's a bit of an island out by itself. Gary's still up though, and Hill 400 is, you know, is by no means safe for the Axis. It's not like they can send their whole team down there to try and take out Bergstein, because they've got so many different vectors of attack that they're under here at Hill 400. I see an interesting strafing run over here. Not quite sure what the strategic purpose of that was. Just getting annoyed with getting flanked from so many angles, quite possibly. I'm trying to see this garrison up here and who's proxying it. I guess Cobra's proxying it. Whether he's seen it or not is another matter. Could well have, because he has got a scoped gun there. Commander Jubei here with the kill on Cobra. There's a weird audio. The gun firing like way longer. It could have been Sotiri, I'm not sure. But I'm curious what's happening here. Okay, yeah, so as mentioned, here come the smokes. This is going to, hopefully, for the Axis, allow them to move up a bit, although they probably want to get a few more squad leaders ready and in position before they do their kind of big move. Olu going down there, a bit of a weird angle of attack, straight across the field, straight into the Don D machine gun. But, you know, if you don't try, you don't know, do you? So they're going to probably be aware that there's a machine gun there now, but this is a decent kind of defensive formation that the Allies have. If they can just hold it long enough, I see one of their tanks moving over here, if they can just hold it long enough, for something significant to happen up here at Hill, where we can see, you know, they are still pushing. They're pushing on this side. They've got people close. Struggling with seeing through the trees, but they do have some people relatively close. But again, you know, they've got to come through these obvious areas, through the barbed wire. It's really, really not easy. But look how many are proxied here. That's ridiculous. Like their whole rear is lit up like Rudolph's nose or something. You know, it's like somebody's on this one perfectly. I don't see who it is. Is it Vaddy? Okay, so Vaddy's on that one perfectly. Oh, they've been cleared off now. Where's... Okay, so there is a spawn point going on here somewhere. Oh, it's actually a garrison. So Howe's OP marker not quite accurate and not quite, you know, drastic enough. This is going to go down any second now. It's just taking a long time. So when you, for anyone that doesn't know, when you're taking down a garrison, it takes a different amount of time depending on what sector it's in. So a sector is effectively 4 squares like this, and this is a sector, this is a sector, and because this sector is not in the contested area on either side, it's going to take like twice as long to take the garrison down. Okay, so soft cap going on Bergstein. They were in a good position, could be in a better position, but if they can push up and get to this wall, it looked a bit more significant than what it was in the end. You can see that there's these squad leaders up here. Maynard's still pushing, doing a great job, but this is important. He needs to take this down. At the moment he's like proximitying it. I'm not sure what this tactic is. I guess proxy it so they can't spawn. I've had people mention that this is a thing that happens. Looks like it is. They're literally just sitting on it, so that's interesting for everybody to see there. Spawn blocking is the new meta. So Bergstein definitely going to go down, I would say. The other spawns, you know, you can see where they're having to come in from. They're a little bit further away. There might be a squad spawn over here in OP, but otherwise it's not a good situation for the Allies. They do have a tank here in Offermer, but he's gone down now to Hutch. I think second tank kill for him. They have decided now, I believe, to take down this garrison. Yep. Okay, so they're not simply camping it anymore. That could have been the fact that the commander here, Proximo, took it down voluntarily, having seen it was camped to such a degree. But it's kind of not enough probably at this point, because Underlux and Oli are both inside here. Maynard's got his squad spawning in. Hutch and all this out this way. I can't see who that is. Dr. Beer. Still, they're already pushing around, you know. Dr. Beerface is trying to get to Frederica Junction, and they're going for the 5 mil. Against my call, but you know, I did modify it. I did modify it right as we started when I saw these points, because this is such a horrible push here. Look across the fields, like there's no way they can get it at this point. Just simply time-wise, you know, they won't even be able to run there in time. Proximo frantically trying to get into a position to build another garrison, but I don't know if he's got any supplies there or anything. It doesn't look like anything's there. He's trying to sort of get into the same spot as before. Good artillery coming in on the church there, though. I'm guessing that's the Allies. Proximo, a one-man army trying to get into the point. Gets killed by KPT Dirch, which is a huge kill for the Axis. Maybe doesn't even realise. Right as the supplies come down, they have got a spawn over here. FSG's managed to get something going on. If that's a garrison or what, I'm not sure. Could be inside this building. Don't know if you can spawn inside that building. But too little, too late, possibly. You can kind of see that the strong point goes right out to the road though, so if they can get up and push up against this wall, then they will technically be inside the strong point. The Axis need to just keep it together, get their people inside the sector. All this lot over here need to get inside this sector, because then they're going to be capping. Howe and Fox Squad getting kind of just held off outside it, which is not good for them. They need to be pushing up. Smoker, DP, who actually just went down, they need to kind of be getting up into the Bergstein area. It might just be a matter of time. You know, they are convincingly capping it still. But if they really want to secure, then obviously you've got to have as many people as possible in the sector. Okay, looking for supplies then. You can see Dr. Beerface hasn't requested anything yet, but is already inside the point here at Frederica Junction. Okay, let's have a quick look. Dr. Beerface here then. Going for the shots on the supply truck, maybe giving himself away to the light tank, which is not ideal for him. He just wants to kind of settle down here, try and get a spot to chill out probably, and just be a force inside of the strong point, because all the time that he's inside that strong point and, you know, there's only 1 or 2 enemies inside it, it's going to be contested, and that's just going to be a pain in the bum for the allies here. FSG's got a good position inside. He's holding it down, kind of camping a little bit. Ares could potentially shoot Beerface in the back here, but Beerface gets a nice right-hand peek on FSG, who's just built his spawn, so that's big for Beerface. I wonder if he just heard it then and hung around outside to wait for the kill. Ares, of course, in FSG's squad, he knows that Beerface is here now. He's going to look around for some kind of flank to get round to get the shots on him, but he's not in the best position. Beerface going down to what looked like a pretty amazing kill there from Made of Pixels. I'm not sure how he managed to get the shot on him through that doorway, but he did. The supplies then coming down here, I'm surprised a little bit of that. They could maybe be used over in this kind of area out wide to really try and push people through into the HQ spawns and just cause so much trouble in the back lines. But the Axis are pretty spread out. Bergstein is kind of soft capped. They just need to consolidate a little bit, get that tank moved up maybe. But they are in a good position here, the Axis. You know, there's 46 minutes left on the clock and it's a 4-1 already. So I think it's going to be very, very difficult for the Allies to come back from this. I'm not quite sure, you know, if it's technically really even possible, because some of these points, as I mentioned before, like Bergstein, is just such a not a good place for the Allies. It's great for when you're like pushing up, but when you're defending it, it's horrible because you've got all these open fields on your side that you have to cross in order to get there. Look at all this. It's got literally woodland right up to it on the Axis side. So Ghost 91 just going straight up the middle here. Doesn't give a monkeys. This is how you recon, ladies and gentlemen. Or is it? Okay, Master Chief just up here being a pain in the bum at Hill 400, just causing a few problems, but nothing serious yet in terms of kind of a flanking move going on at Bergstein, which is what the Allies are going to need to get if they hope to take anything back from this one. They're kind of been allowed up the middle here a little bit, which I'm somewhat surprised at. I would have thought that there'd be kind of more artillery around this area on the road, but perhaps it's just because they haven't been spotted yet. Maybe once some of these Axis kind of move around, they will either hold them up there or spot them and kind of get some artillery or some support going down. But right now, Axis is pretty much abandoned. Bergstein, I'm not yawning because it's boring, I'm yawning because I'm tired. It's actually quite a good game today. I do like Hill 400 because I think it's got a very dynamic way of playing it that can change quite quickly depending on just small things. You know, we saw I forget who it was now, but somebody killed Proximo, didn't they, before he managed to get to those supplies, managed to do anything with them. That's a really big kill, you know, and it's those kind of plays that you can make on this map, because you know, anyone can be a hero. If you're just in that right spot at that right time, you get the right hand peek on the correct person, just like that, you can, you know, really do damage. And you can see that the supply truck here now for the Allies is completely sort of helpless, and Heps versus DP, think DP spotted him peek there. Epps is not wanting to repeat this one, it seems. Just hanging out there for the time being, but this could be all she wrote. They must be able to hear each other, I think. Epps gonna get killed here. DP with the better concentration there on holding the angle. Okay, so Allies pretty much overrunning Frederica Junction, but not really making good moves on Bergstein just yet. You can see again that there's a lot of these that are hot out the back, but whether that's like a real concerted effort or whether it's just from these kind of sporadic spread out players here, I think that's a bit debatable. But there's definitely a flank occurring now around Frederica on this right hand side to the northeast. Dr. Beerface up in the mix again. Whether they can get some supplies down over here somewhere, get a garrison up, you know, that could be pretty big for the Axis. I should think that's probably what they're going to try and do. DP and Abusify over here, just trying to take out some of these people who are spawning in over here. I just saw Chaos spawn in at an outpost just here, so this would be one of the kind of likely areas that I would think that the Axis are going to want to drop supplies. So it's a sensible place for the Allies to be placing their OP, although they are running off it a little bit in a way that, you know, could lead them to kind of get discovered. But it's probably pretty obvious that they're going to have something around there anyway, because they're not going to be placing them in the middle of these horrible open fields, are they? Allowing it to again be somewhat predictable in terms of kind of where people are going to be. Interesting built a gun here. We'll see if that gets any use. I think it would be unwise for the Axis to kind of push the point, you know, head on with a tank maybe from that angle. The walls are deceptively, you know, they obscure quite a lot actually inside the point. There's also an Axis tank I can see here, light tank. Here another tank, two light tanks. One's getting the old satchel treatment here. Mark trying to come back with a second satchel there. Maybe he heard the other tank. Turbo fancies himself as a tank killer, but I believe this one's already spoken for. Just wait for the satchel to go off. A few more seconds. Got the marker down. Mike squad. There it goes. And then Turbo's going to be going for that other tank that's in there as well. A little bit hard to see, but Offerman in the other light tank there. Okay, 40 minutes to go, and they are pushing back on Bergstein here, the Allies. If they could kind of get another spawn over here and get these people over reliably into this angle, then they could stand a chance of taking it back, which would be very interesting because they have had recon all around this all game trying to set them up to retake hill. So I'm interested to see if they can. A good recon plane here across these markers would really help probably for the defenders, because there's not so many defenders here. I hear something coming in. Here we go with the bombing run. Okay, so this looks to be the Allied bombing run. Oh no, it is the Axis bombing run. It's not quite in the right place though, and that's why the recon plane first. You know, I stand by it. That would have been better because they, you know, they're pretty lined up here along this kind of wall, this fence area. So. Sort of easy pickings a little bit. That was a pretty spectacular hit with the artillery there, like right on the garrison. Getting very close to Frederica Junction here, but whether Cuff can actually do anything when he gets here. Let's have a little look and see where the garrison is. I don't see or hear it. Cuff's gone down to the defenders. Oh, they're keeping them busy, the Axis there. Still got quite a few players in this area out to the south, but they're not having the effect that I think the Allies hoped that they would. I guess once they've got a machine gun in this building, it certainly helps to defend. I mean, good use of this teeny tiny window as well. I mean, it must be very, very hard to hit him through there, so that's a good strat against this forested area here. Cahoots, as we mentioned, commander from last week, leading his squad there. We've also got the Phalanx squad in defence as before. Smoker kind of dealing, and Ramsey's dealing with these allies who are pushing right up the middle, who haven't also managed to make probably as much progress as they might like. Can't see that there's really any risk to the full rear here, although looks like Master Chief has taken out another garrison. So he's just kind of hunting them down. Let's follow him and see. Okay, so whilst we follow Master Chief, obviously, interesting. Literally ran straight towards it. Maybe that's because he knows this is a place where they often are, but we'll see if he just runs straight to D5 here as well. You know, curious. But while we're following Master Chief here, again, massive thanks out to Werner Voss, Dragster, all the other people who are involved in arranging squad line battle. Remember, you can sign up really, really easily. Tomorrow or the next day, the registration will be open for the next game next week. Got players here coming for him. We've got Lee Seal, not in time to take out the Gary here. Master Chief goes down. Pretty effective at taking out the garrisons over there, but didn't know where the enemies quite were. Still doing a good job of defending. They are kind of pushing them off into these areas, but it's important that they don't overextend here, the Axis, because, you know, a cheeky little airhead over this side or something, that could change the tide of things. You know, we've mentioned before that these kind of attack vectors through here, you know, through the woods are much, much easier. So that works both ways. If the Allies can get something in between Hill 400 and Bergstein, get a nice garrison around here or up in these woods here, it could cause a lot of trouble, especially in these woods, out the back here where we're seeing Terminator. It could cause a lot of trouble because it is a lot easier to attack from there, and you can see they're nowhere near the hard point here. Look how many Axis are down in these woods. A lot. So if they can get up into that, you know, an airhead or something up into this area, they've just literally got a free run straight into the point. So, but obviously they can't see what we can see, and they don't know that every single Axis player in the map practically is outside Bergstein. Who's this inside? Maynard, leading from the front again. He's actually the only person from either team inside the strong point, which is pretty big for the Axis. The tank is right outside though. You can get his spawn point up inside the barn. That could be pretty significant. You can get a whole squad inside there. Get some cover going down out the back. You know, like I said, cover these fields. Okay, he just got killed from somewhere. Don't know. Don't ask about that one, I think. Okay. Not at all sure what happened there, but good discipline here from Electro, Scars, and Satiri's squad, you know, the rest of the squad, to fall back Cahoot's falling back as well into defence, so that's excellent play for them. They've cleared out that whole flank and now they're able to kind of fall back. They'll probably try and check this area again. Let's just double check Master Chief again. He's got the nose for the garrisons, obviously. We're seeing him kind of close to one here. Let's get the follow again. How do I get free rotation? There you go. Okay, so let's see where he's off to, because they... Who? You're not telling me that was a beautiful... No. Who the hell just shot him then? What? That sounded like it was so close. Maybe it was these guys. Didn't even see them if it was. I think they just spawned in though. That's weird. Okay, so half an hour to go. That's a decent recon plane that's gone up there. They don't have another bombing run. Or if they do, they haven't got enough supplies for it. They could obviously convert some fuel, still quite a lot of fuel there, 2,900. You can see that they've got their resource game set up straight away. If anyone wants to, you know, hear my opinions about the resource game as it stands at the moment in Hell Let Loose, you know, let me know, because I could talk for hours about how garbage I think it is. But yep, they've just done the easiest and most sensible thing, which is build them right at the start, forget that they even exist, and then just play the whole game. Supplies. This is allied supplies coming down here. Interesting. Not really too many allies in the area able to build on it. Proximo is here though, so if he can get up to that area, then this could be a good place for a garrison. Still not, you know, what you might say is the best place, which is kind of over here near where Master Chief is. I keep wanting to say Master Chef, but like out in this area is probably one of the best places. But as you can see, these garrisons aren't in a terrible spot. They could maybe do with getting a better triangle down around Bergstein, the axis. I see it's actually being contested right now. That's probably because of all the allies who are in this area. It was being lost for a second there, but not anymore. Frederica is bereft of anyone. That tank might still be around though. Can't even see that. Surprised, very, very surprised that there's not garrisons going in at the back here. I mean, has Gecko just like run away from these supplies? Oh no, it's only 50, so that must be his squad supplies. But I'm surprised that that Jubei is not dropping more supplies out of the back here. Speaking of Jubei, let's have a little jump onto the squad chat. Let's hear what they've got to say.
Enemy garrison down.
Thank you, Easy.
Satirion defense, easy squad out here.
Should I dismantle tank squad because there's no really use of us?
Love. What do you mean there's no use for you?
Stew tank pushing is actually right now on how marker.
That's
Well,
here,
then go in the infantry and build a pack or something in the front.
Yeah. That sounds good.
So interesting kind of dynamic squad changes there. Frederica Junction is being taken. It's really Maynard and a couple of others, you know, in this squad at the front. But Maynard was the squad leader. He must have swapped out with Gecko then. Let's go and have a little look. Proximo going for the one-on-one. Again.
We're losing the Gary. Easy 7.
That's here.
Yeah, I will take care of that. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
F7
So
clear.
if Maynard was still the squad leader here and they had their OP down. But Smoker is coming. Bullseye's kind of pushed past, interestingly. Hasn't really kind of noticed that this was getting taken a second ago. Maynard maybe getting a bit impatient, kind of pushing out of the buildings here, but I mean he did get absolutely wiped out from inside the buildings before. Arrow's going for the snipes on Maynard from across the field. Cannon fuck going down. Arrow's suppressed. Maynard's still under fire from Master and Mirko. Come on, Smoker and Hutch, can they get there in time?
Just taking the garrison out.
Maynard in a difficult position here. Not good cover.
Thank you, Jake.
Bullseye down though.
Enemies again at F7. Recon.
Unlucky going down to Jacob. But Smoker is up at the point now. He needs to get that OP up so his squad can start spawning in.
Drought outpost mark can be removed. They
Deco
came
in a
more from
good
the
spot
south.
there too.
Go.
Having to lose some of the players from the attack here, so you're falling back across this
Baker,
field.
can I send an airhead to your location
Yeah.
and you defend it?
Yeah.
We'd love to
Eureka
get it
Junction well
if
defended
six-
then, it looks like, by the Allies, but it was a little bit touch and go there for a second for them. Although Dr. Beerface is pushing up behind Geed and the rest of these. Good kill. Excellent stuff. Another good kill. Master is down as well.
King squad, is that
Dr.
OP
Beerface
max
is an absolute
selected?
force to be reckoned with in this game, I'm telling you.
It may be, yes. It was quite a recent mark.
Oh my.
Their recon.
Surprised he didn't go for the knife kill just then. Arrow's maybe going to get
Is
shot in the back as
at
well.
the.
Here. You can see he's got friendlies inside the
Is
point.
the
This is good
infantry
for
mark.
them. The
They're acting
airhead's
from this
down.
position.
Easy infantry mark.
Don't let
over
the
here
recon
somewhere.
distract you. They cannot do that much. If they take down a garrison, just re-establish it.
Arrows with the kill there though.
Light vehicle destroyed.
Well done from
North
him.
check.
That's big for them inside of
That OP
Federica.
is down, King.
We try and get off
I
with
have OP.
Good shit.
the follow here, but
How? I put a B right in enemy.
that
Hard cap.
smoker
Please
inside
don't
enemy
support the
hard cap. Bullseye and Falcon pushing up though. He's got to be careful, Smoker, to keep them off the OP. He's going down though, because obviously if they just get within 10 meters of it, that's destroyed. Oops.
Als Ost kommt an der schönen Rand.
Half track, Foxmark, accurate.
Okay, Hutch inside the building still. Still trying to defend. Arrow's getting a kill on
Is it
Loftus
after
over
currently
there.
stationary, Fox Squad?
It is currently stationary, mate, yeah. The guy's jumped out. He's pushed right of the
Good
half
shooting
track.
here from Bullseye. Living up to
Good
his name. Aaron and Hutch, oh my god. Hutch has no clue at the moment. Change your sound settings, mate, because this guy's so close to you, how can you not hear him walking? This is crazy, you've got a whole squad
Okay,
on
the
you.
airhead is up.
Maybe he's
If one of the defensive
AFK.
squads wants
No,
to
he's
deploy
not
there.
AFK, and he's giving away his position now. He's literally got a whole squad on him and he can't hear them. I don't believe it. I can hear them and they're further away than what they are from him. He's dead, 100%. Great use of the mine there. Oh my god, I thought he was going to get the triple kill.
And
Good
recon
play
plane
from
is
Hutch,
up.
but not enough. Definitely look at your sound settings. Still doing a decent job of defending over here at Bergstein. I mean, this is a pretty devastating situation for the Allies. They do not want to have
Fox
this
Squad, that
airhead here.
half-track's on the move.
If they can get a garrison up, I'm
Enemy
not quite
half-track
sure what
moving,
there isn't one
east.
down already. I suppose Underlux is just
still
under
don't
attack there,
know.
but he's going to be trying to get one up straight away.
I'm putting a bombing run through their last point.
They need to get one up here. Baker and Charlie squad both have their OP there, but nobody's bothered to build the garrison yet, which is interesting. Perhaps they've just been struggling under fire, but they really do need to make that a priority because that's so big for their team to get something out the back there. Good job from the Allies getting into this point and defending it, though. I mean, they've clearly got spawn points up and around this kind of area.
I think the garrison to your east is hot.
Copy that.
It's a decent bombing run now here from the Axis. Probably not enough to kill too many people,
The outpost down on box. Clear the cap.
but something went down and a couple of enemies. The smokes are out too, so Cuff trying to push but getting taken out possibly by Aaron. There's a lot of blue moving through these woods
Enemy
here, though.
outpost option. Enemy outpost exactly on easy
In
mark.
a way, it's interesting the attack vector here, though, because actually the Axis
Better-
have kind of given
let's see,
themselves the
let's-
harder
let's
attacking
see.
direction here by having these open fields between them and the hard cap. If they kind of focused on moving through the buildings area and taking this, not only would they have actually an easier approach to the point, but they also would have taken out wherever this garrison is over here that keeps spawning all these allies.
King squad moving to
where
get
it
a
is in
garrison up
here.
on King move mark.
Someone's going to be screaming at the screen. I see it, and I just can't. It's around
Thank you,
there
King.
somewhere.
And the option should ideally also do that.
Sorry, what am I doing?
A garrison near your OP.
Yep, copy, I can do that.
Option there in D5. I mean, this is getting a bit hairy now for the Allies. There's only 23 minutes to go, and Threepwood is in the open field, uncontested, running straight at the hard cap from the direction of their home spawn. It's not going well for them, I think it's fair to say. FSG and his squad, really the only people left inside the barn. Masters down. Their OP's right there, so it's nice and easy to proxy. I'm surprised Gecko hasn't even got it yet. I don't know how he got on the roof. It looks like Underlux is trying the same thing. Going for the big jump off the... There you go. That's the strat, guys. You can see through the skylights. Take out Aaron. Win the game for the team. They need to stop them from coming in over here, though. They've got the OP down, it looks like, inside the point at Frederique. I just saw the little puff of smoke from where the OP was destroyed. But Bullseye's lot are still kind of pushing through this area. Who's that? Smooker as well. Aris playing a blinder. He's got so many kills at the moment. But not enough to keep them out of the point. They're definitely capping it here. Pretty hardcore. 22 minutes remaining. We're almost at the end, I suspect. Looking pretty spread out here, the Allies, and this defence is still decent. Can't believe they didn't manage to get more going on with the garrison here and get a few more people
Seems like
spawned
we've got
in,
this
but
in the back,
they've
guys.
kind of
Let's keep
put
pushing.
it quite far back, so it is proxied. Jubei asking for the push there, wants to finish them off. Struggling a little bit actually here. Heps and RN, you've got CC moving in. These guys from this angle here, still a problem, still a big problem for the Axis, and it is hampering their cap here. They need to get more people inside the sector, more people inside the hard point, because Bullseye, RN, Mychol, Warhamster, CC, they're all going to be inside the point now, and it's almost going to be a 1-for-1, but great shooting there from the guys on the roof, it looks like. Aaron spotted some of them, but not before they took out CC and Bullseye, before they had a chance to get in. It's looking like this could well be it. It's contested right at the end here, but how long for? Aaron, if he goes down, I think that could be all she wrote.
I wish it was me. Guys, fantastic work, everybody.
No, we're
Jubei
losing it.
calling
Not over
it.
yet.
No,
Jubei
we're
calling
gonna.
it.
It's fine. It's fine. Just keep pushing. They're gonna collapse.
Optimism, right?
Very much optimism there from Jubei. And I think it might be well founded, as this
Heavy
squad
enemy
is
push
completely
from
destroyed
King
in the
Large
woods
vehicle
here.
mark, enemy half
If
track.
Underlux can get across the
Abel,
road,
can you establish a garrison at your location?
get a kill on Mychol, that's probably it.
Roger.
FSG, okay, so this is where they're spawning in this building here. It's only an OP just here. They must have a garrison around as well, though. Probably over at Smooker. Is this the bombing run? Still fighting to the last here. Proximo with the bombing run coming in. It's pretty accurate.
GG, guys. Fantastic work.
20
Thank you
minutes
all.
for this
Thank
game.
you.
Well played, everyone. So, yeah, correct with the 5-0 from KnownConnection. Absolutely called that, spot on. I didn't pick the right team, but looking at those points, like as soon as we got into the map, it was pretty obvious that it was going to be difficult for the Allies to defend if they had to fall back. They did a cracking job of holding on to Hill 400 for a while there, but it just wasn't enough in the end. So looking at some of these scores, obviously we've got a fucking amazing play there from Dr. Beerface. We've got great play from DP as well. The recon squads earned their money today, 100%. Nice to see from the commander. Thank you all. Obviously, I earned my 201 XP. That's important. Got to get that 202. Charlie squad here. We saw Underlux, Yaki or Yak, Andy, all these guys. We saw them absolutely slaying all game. you know, Gecko's been playing a blinder. Hutch as well, we saw getting loads and loads of kills. On the other team, you know, Proximo with a few from the bombing run. Cato played well. Actually, this whole PBS squad played really well today. I thought, you know, they were in the right positions. They got some big kills. Offerman in the tank. I guess this was the squad who were in the 75 sitting in the spawn early on, and that was really big for them. Ryback playing well there as well. Okay, let me jump into Discord. Let's get the push to talk enabled this time, so I don't bother everybody. Push to talk, there we go. And then let's jump into Gamers Arc. Jubei's already in there with no connection. Hi guys, good game, Jubei.
Hey, Jubei is just going to the toilet, so he will be back. But hello, Proximo, as well, and hello,
Proximo.
Guff.
Evening.
Good game. Unlucky there, Proximo. I saw you with the bombing run right at the end. Just, you know, fought to the last.
Yeah, the last kills.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that last shell to land, and then the timer ran up. It's like, oh, because you was about to get about 2 or 3 in that last hit, but yeah, time ran out.
Yeah, that was a good game. So you called it correctly there, no connection, with the 5-0 before the game. That was your prediction, and it came true, definitely. I think as soon as I saw those spawn points on the map when we kind of first started the game, I thought that's going to be difficult for the Allies, but
Yeah, it definitely going to be hard. But the fact that it was fair throughout the whole point, all 5 points were a dead center, and it's nice to have like fair points. It's never great to play a game and you've got a disadvantage on the capping points.
yeah, 100%. It was like fair, it was straight down the middle, and actually, you know, I think it was played well by both sides as well. I mean, the way that the Allies were holding the centre at the start, you know, in Hill 400 with the tank, just like you said, Proximo, you know, you got the infantry support on the tanks and used them defensively, and it was working really, really well.
I'm back, guys, by the way.
Hello, and congratulations to your win.
Good game.
Thank you.
How was that for you, commanders?
Well, at the beginning, as for the allies, it was good. It was according to the plan, all worked. Especially the one with the tank and combined arms. One infantry squad along with one tank. I think we lost the point because we lost the bottom flank, southern flank. We got flanked from there. We lost our coherency. Then we lost the point, and then the collapse. We lost Bergstein. We couldn't flank that point because the strong point is very close to the locked territory, so you cannot place a flanking garrison or a rear garrison to attack from behind. So you need to find other ways. And the enemy was well spread out. And anytime that when we place a Gary, an attacking Gary, we lose it. We lost it immediately from enemy patrols. Got killed 2 times from my fellow clan member, Thunder.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing also that Proximo wasn't playing with his guys. So
I like it because I see that my fellow clan members are getting better and better, and they hear about my advices from my experience. And it was really impossible to flank the Bergstein Church.
Yeah, the Phalanx guys did defend really well.
The only way that we possibly could capture the point was to sign a heavy tank, a Tiger perhaps, at the main road along with the infantry and push straight the strong point. But I think we lost after the first minutes. The tank squad just broke up. We didn't have the proper armor support because the tanks were scattered all over the map, couldn't link up with infantry, and eventually cut off and been destroyed. It's really a mess, and I think I had some communications problems. I didn't have some responses, but that's what is war. It's chaos.
I think you started, obviously you capped first, so you obviously started better than the Axis. The fact that you had 2 tanks in the capping point at the top, it made from my eyes, it was very hard for the Axis to push up. They had numerous times where they tried to take shots and tried to probably go for a satchel, but with the amount of infantry and around them, you managed to hold that point for a very long time, and then you just got outnumbered. And it's very hard when you're at the top of the hill. It does allow the Axis to get all the way around and push up collectively as together, and that's how they capped.
Even stronghold like this, it can be captured. First of all, you cut off the enemy from their rear spawn points like Garys, and then the enemy has only one Gar inside the strong point, and this is obvious for the enemy. So he uses artillery and bombing run, perhaps, destroy that point, and then you make some small hits to the enemy, and then a massive attack, and you capture it. If you defend the place, you need to restore every time your spawn point. I mean, you use a network of spawn points. You see that the flank is going to collapse, then you reinforce that flank. In defense, that doesn't mean you stay stationary in a point. You move all the time to see if the enemy is going around or attacking from one gap. That is, yeah.
Juby, how was it for you?
So, I mean, honestly, I wish I could say that it was my doing, but I just had wonderful squads and they did everything they've been told. So, first of all, the Phalanx squad in defense and the 82 AD squad on Terminator, they were just fantastic. So, any enemy threats, any attempt to flank, they had it covered. So, I typically play. I don't like a garrison inside the strong point. I like to put garrisons around. So I was, from the start of the match, from the briefing, I was very adamant about this to my guys, that we need to have garrisons around and we need to defend them. If a garrison drops, just go back and reestablish it. So honestly, I believe that is the key to the victory, that just keep your garrisons up, defend your garrisons. If they go down, reestablish it. That was my recipe, at least.
Yeah, you could see, like from my stream, obviously, with the we could see your spawn points on the map, and you could see how you'd kind of laid them out in like almost triangle shapes, like around the
Exactly.
point to allow it that, you know, and then there were like backups, and then there were backups to backups. So it was kind of like wherever you lost one, and you did lose quite a few, I think.
Yes, yes.
I forget who the player was now, Master Chief, who was the squad leader for the recon on the ally team. You know, he was going around taking them out like nobody's business, but because you had those backups on backups, because every time somebody would come back and defend, that didn't kind of spiral into anything too significant, and it actually just used them to like highlight where the enemy were coming from, if anything.
Exactly. So it's not any special magical tactics, honestly. Keep your garrisons up, keep them defended. And then, of course, the offense, they had instructions to make wide flanks if possible. If cannot go through, the meat grinders on the west side were told, you know, stay put, don't budge, don't leave any holes. It somehow seems that that worked.
Yeah, well played. and well played to your team, obviously, and well played to everyone involved. That was a really good game. It lasted a good long time, and we've mentioned before that it was quite hard fought the whole way. Some big kills from infantrymen as well, because obviously there's a couple of times, I think actually Proximo, you might remember, there's a couple of times when you were in position to almost build a garrison. You had supplies down. It was a sort of highly contested moment, and then you'd get taken out by some infantryman, some random guy. So there was a lot of like good game-changing kills.
It was definitely a great game to watch. I personally don't want to be playing down there. It was too much of a hard battle, especially on that hill 400 at the beginning. I'm pretty sure Graphics has caught a few good clips as well. There was one right at the end. I don't know if you've caught it as well, but there was one guy that was hanging inside the last point, and the allies tried to get back into the barn, but they kind of surrounded him. One guy turned around thinking it was the enemy player, but with a shotgun capped his own player as he jumped to try and come behind the enemy player. So he caught the wrong player, but caught him with a shotgun, and his body just went everywhere. So we caught a good few moments like that.
That's amazing.
But yeah, Commander's absolutely great game. Really, really good. Really entertaining as well.
I kind of want to see Hill 400 a bit more, actually. Like we were saying at the start, it's a bit rare to see Hill 400 on Squad Line Battle, but it worked really well. Yep. It worked really well.
My chat is saying the exact same thing. More of these games, maybe even Hogan Forest as well. These are the maps that we don't see as much, or even I know we don't see much Purple Heart Lane as well, but get the rarity games out.
Yeah, the fighting is just so savage, like in and amongst the trees when you get into these kind of wooded maps. That I definitely think that there's a lot of action going on the whole time, so it's really great to watch. But yeah, well done, obviously, Jubei, and well played everybody else. I'm going to jump off now. But
thank you guys for streaming. I'm looking forward to looking at the recordings from your streams.
Thank you very much, guys, and great game. And yeah, I'll see you all soon.
Yeah, catch you next week probably.
GG, guys.
Take care. Thank you very much, guys.
See ya. Okay, so yeah, what the hell? KnownConnection there, and the squad leaders, of course. So nice to see them at the end of the game. I think it really adds something to get that discussion. Obviously, like I mentioned before, do remember to sign up for next week if playing in Squad Line Battle is something that's interesting to you. All you have to do is join the server and then fill out an application. You do need to bring a squad of people, but they don't all have to be in the same clan or anything like that. It could just be friends that you play with. You can apply to do anything. Come be commander if you want. You could be recon, tank squad, whatever. I'm not sure what the map is next time. I could probably double check, but I'm not going to. I'll leave that to you. But depending on what the map is, you might change what you want to be, kind of thing. But it's very open. You can just apply for anything. You probably get a chance to have a try at it. Thanks again. I've said it lots of times, but thanks again very much to Verno Voss and Dragster and anybody else who's involved in sorting out these games and for having us on. Thanks again to STDB, for sorting out the server right at the end. Really good of them. Thanks as well to Don D and Core, both for Core server and for Don D trying to get us on the server. And yeah, GG to everyone involved, and catch you next week. Make sure to check the VOD out after. You can watch it for 2 weeks, and after that it'll all be up on YouTube. So that's me signing off. See you later, guys.